Say it out loud because that's what everyone online is whisper shouting right now. This wasn't a debate, it was a detonation. Hillary Clinton's temper hit the red zone the moment Tyrus started tossing dirty secrets like live grenades on air, and the blast lit up every timeline in America. Yes, the core event is exactly what you think it is. Tyrus went full showman,
Most unlikable candidate in the history of presidents, and that's saying a lot.
But Biden says the same thing.
He's number two. When Biden says something, does anyone be like, oh?
Right.
No, they used to go, oh.
loaded a string of brutal callouts tied to her old controversies, and Hillary's response became the story. Fast, loud, and impossible to scroll past. You clicked this because you saw the clips, the memes, the stitched
Of 51.
Is it a red hat? I'll get one. Like, it's ridiculous that when the losing side or someone, she's just a very unlikable person and will say anything to get this attention. But here's the thing, it's changed. America has changed. We no longer listen to that stuff. Now when they say it, we go,
reactions. Good. You're in the right place. Here's why it matters right now. In 2025, politics isn't just policy. It's programming, and whoever controls the optics controls the scoreboard. When a veteran power broker looks rattled, half the country treats that as a confession, the other half treats it as right
Into it.
Hillary Clinton is one of the most disgusting human beings on the planet.
Very much so.
Always has been, always will be, and will be inserting clips on her response to Benghazi several times throughout the interview. I want to show who she is.
She's worse than her husband.
A lot of people say that this was triggered by a YouTube video. This is her statement. I condemn in the strongest terms the attack on our mission in Benghazi today. The United States deplores any intentional effort to denigrate the religious beliefs of others. Our commitment to religious tolerance goes back to the very beginning.
just fury, and the spectacle eats everything in between. Quick proof? Within hours, the meltdown label outran the substance. Trending tags, reaction shorts, late-night monologues, Hillary as a volcano, Tyrus as the grinning arsonist, and 1,000 hot takes melting the feed. So here's the roadmap.
Socks after a 4th of July barbecue.
every time she talks, you kind of get why Bill did what he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, it's kind of like, again, I don't condone, cheating, but
No.
that's your morning.
Yeah.
You gotta kiss that before you go to bed at night, and then you gotta sleep with one eye open.
Yeah.
For what you're about to get. The exact switch Tyrus flipped that turned commentary into a cage match, why Hillary's response hurt her more than any accusation could, and how this circus fits into a week already headlined by a former president caught napping at his own trial while running beneath a storm cloud of felony counts. Expectation versus reality will be our spine. You'll get the receipts, the psychology, and the bigger picture. And if you think you
He doesn't just call things out, he detonates them.
No, your buddy Epstein didn't off himself, and she has all this extra footage cut up in the closet. Like, I bet Bill has not had a good night's sleep for years. I mean, that's why he aged so badly. A lot of people don't know this. Bill Clinton is only 30.
know how this ends, hold that thought. I'm about to mess with it. Start where the oxygen gets thin. Tyrus didn't discuss. He detonated. Not with spreadsheets and citations, but with TV instincts sharpened by a past life where you in the room by turning conflict into theater. He framed old scandals as present tense, said the quiet parts at full volume, and then, this is the key, he stood back and let her reaction carry the narrative the way a drumline carries a parade. That's not an accident. That's a tactic. Context. For years, Hillary's brand was built on outlasting storms. Hearings, leaks, opposition research, stump speech snipes. She survived all of it and kept the look of inevitability polished. The application now is brutal. Inevitability cracks the moment the audience smells panic. The framing is bigger than either of them. We don't live in a fact-first, feelings-later, media ecosystem. We live in an attention market where emotion is the headline and facts are the footnotes. In that market, a flash of visible anger is priceless, just not for you. And then, stronger still, the punch you didn't want to feel but you did. Perception beats precision every election cycle. If you look shaken on camera, you are shaken in the public mind. Watch the cause and effect cascade. Tyrus hurls a barbed line about past controversies. He riffs like a heel in the squared circle, and he drops a couple of wicked asides. Yes, including the kind of black humor jab about Bill Clinton's miles per face that the internet loves to clip and strip of context. Hillary tries to sweat it down hard. Raise the voice. Pace the room. Sharpen the glare. But in doing so, she feeds the frame. Unflappable Titan flapped. Expectations versus reality, exposed in one wide shot. Expectation. She's the steel-spined operator who never lets you see heat. Reality. She let you see heat. And heat is the one element that makes everything else combust. The culture around this was primed for an explosion. All week long, the country was already marinating in absurdity. Viral courtroom sketches of a former president with his eyes closed. Headlines screaming about dozens of felony counts and the first in history, label stuck to his campaign like a hazard sticker. Cable panels arguing over whether supporting him is a cult, with the word tossed so casually that it stops persuading and starts hardening. That ambient noise sets the perfect stage for a blow-up. People weren't looking for nuance. They were looking for a release valve. Enter Tyrus, who doesn't tiptoe. He belly flops into controversy from a 10-meter platform. He doesn't try to win with footnotes. He tries to win with moments. And moments travel faster than facts. Here's the psychology that keeps political consultants awake at 3 a.m. Unpredictability is the one variable you can't memo away. Hillary's team can prep briefing books, rehearse lines, and wrap every answer in velvet, but none of that helps when the other guy refuses to color inside the lines. He lobs an accusation with a smirk, tags it to a controversy half the country thinks is settled, and the other half thinks was never truly answered, and suddenly every camera is watching for the reaction shot. That shot, more than any claim, more than any clip pulled from an old hearing, is what people remember. Because you don't need to understand the details to understand a face. You just need to feel it, and the internet felt it. In hours, the remix machine went to work. Mount Hillary graphics. Supercuts that drop her outburst on a beat drop. Tongue-in-cheek titles like Narrative Control just lost control. One side declared the meltdown proof that the accusations landed. The other side declared Tyrus a carnival barker feeding a grievance economy. But both sides agreed on the one fact that actually determines what sticks. It was entertaining. It was bingeable. It was shareable. And in a media economy where shares are currency, that's checkmate on the nightly news before the anchors even warm up their sober faces. Let's thread in the backstory Tyrus leveraged. He knows how to reach for the greatest hits folder labeled things that always juice a segment, Benghazi statements, the 2016 debates, the Russia narrative that hijacked 2 years of conversation, the endless perception war over honesty and inevitability. He quotes, paraphrases, jabs. He tosses in a gallows humor line about a notorious financier that half the internet treats as a wink and the other half treats like gasoline. Is every line fair?
No.
Is every inference airtight? Also no. But that's not the game he's playing. He's playing force the clip. And once the clip exists, the only question is what expression you're wearing when it goes viral. Now step into Hillary's shoes for 10 seconds. You've spent decades turning yourself into an institution. You've outlasted scandals that would have buried rookies. You've kept your voice even in halls where the acoustics are built for theater. And then a guy built like a bouncer with a broadcaster's timing calls you out in a tone that invites laughter first, argument later. Do you stay ice? Do you flick it away with a next and move on? In the old media world, yes. In the modern one, your instincts betray you. You push back hard because you're sick of clowns and smears and recycled talking points. You summon a moral frame. This is dangerous. This is unserious. This is below us. But the camera doesn't record the moral frame. It records your temperature. And temperature tells the audience whether to lean in. Watch how the meltdown eclipsed the message. She tried to frame the current contest in blunt terms. 2 aging candidates, one cast as compassionate and competent, the other buried in charges. She tried to say, essentially, get over it, these are the choices. As pure rhetoric, That line is designed to snap a wavering voter out of performative despair. But paired with visible anger, it reads less like confidence and more like scolding. And nobody volunteers to be scolded. That's the optics paradox. The more force you add to prove authority, the more you risk confirming that you're rattled. Mini cliffhanger. Was there anything Tyrus revealed that we didn't already know? Not really in the strict sense. He rummaged through archives, pulled old statements into today's spotlight, added muscle memory showmanship, and framed each feat as proof of character. The novelty wasn't the facts, it was the timing and the performance. And that's the lesson political veterans hate. The same data, delivered with a different tempo, can feel like new evidence. He knows it. He leans into it. He understands the modern attention algorithm better than most senators who still think the longest paragraph wins. Call back to expectation versus reality. Hillary's expectation, Project Calm inevitability, collided